NCHA NonPro World Championship, and that was Kaitlyn Wimberly. She rode Light and Lily in the finals. Congratulations to you, Kaitlyn.
Thank you so much.
How did you feel coming into the finals event? You were leading by some $23,000, so a good lead. Pretty confident?
I was confident, but I was also concerned. I had a little bit of stress. After the first night, that all went away, thank goodness, because I was second the first night, and that definitely sealed it. And the stress that was taken off my shoulders was huge, and it felt so good to know that it was just going to be fun the last 3 rounds, and I didn't have to worry about how we placed and how we did. And my secondary goal was to be the average champion. So that all worked out, and it was surreal.
Well, it looks like you probably got the top score of the event, the 227.
No, ma'am. The 229 was the highest score. That was the first night, because when I marked a 227, Judy marked a 229 that night, so I was second that night. Judy, that horse and her, phenomenal. They're such a great pair. They're so much fun to watch, so I was happy for her.
Okay, tell us about Light and Lily. You had not just this mare, you had some other horses throughout the year. Tell us firstly about the mare and who else you had.
Yep, Lily, she's bred at home, raised at home. R.L. Chartier, he keeps her going for me. He does a great job. They take such great care of her. She's part of their team too, and so I'm very fortunate to have them. And she's just outstanding. That mare has taken me through so much. In 2013, we were reserve horse of the year with her. Showed her a lot. She was great. She's been great the whole time. She's so much fun to show. And then I also have 2 geldings, Laredo, Montana, who's also homebred and raised, and Sir Stylish Lizzie, who I bought from the Michael Cooper and his family, and they're both great geldings, and all 3 are so different to show. It's like I have to reset and retrain myself every time I set on one, because they're all 3 so different. But they're so much fun, and they mean so much to me. Those 3 horses have gotten me where I am today. They mean so much. So when I set out for the world this year, I wanted to show those 3 and do it on those horses, because they're my favorites. Everybody's always asking me to pick a favorite, and I don't have one. I can't choose between the 3 of them.
So you had a bit of a strategy with your horses coming into the year. How did you choose which horse and when?
A little bit with the situation, depending on the ground, the pen, the cattle, where we were. But for the most part, I showed Lily at the Mercurias. I showed Sir Stylish Lizzie at a couple as well. I was reserve on him twice. But yeah, it kind of just depended on the situation, the circumstances. I tried to be as smart as I could about it, and I think for the most part, it worked out like it needed to. Lily was phenomenal at all the Mercurias. I mean, she couldn't have been any better, and I just enjoyed the strategy part of it, because that was the most stressful part, was the planning, getting where we're going, which horse we're taking, how we're getting there, where we're going after. So much of it has to do with the calendar and how you organize and plan all that. There's a lot more to it than just showing up and showing. I think that's the easy part, really, because the horses are so good. So the hardest part for me was actually the planning and figuring out where to go, when to go, who to go with. That's the hard part. That's the key.
That's obviously a big part of your success, would you say, being smart about the planning?
Definitely. I think, when I hauled the last time, it was my first time to try, and I think that was, I learned so much that year, and if it hadn't been for that year, I may not have come out on top this year. I think doing it twice, for somebody that can just go the first time and win, kudos to them, because I think it's a really, really hard thing to do. This is the hardest thing I've ever done, hands down. I mean, and the most stressful and the most work. I mean, it is so much work and so much planning. Like I said, so much goes into it. So much more than just those 2.5 minutes. There's a lot to it. So it means so much.
Did you do a lot of it on your own, or did you have help or people traveling with you?
I had help along the way, but for the planning part of it, the working part of it, most of it I did myself. I had some help, like I said, from RL. Like he keeps Lily tuned up for me. When I was on the West Coast, though, I was working her myself, and so that was kind of stressful, because she's so special. I have a hard time working her myself because it worries me that I'm going to mess her up. But the geldings I work myself, and but yeah, for the most part, I pick my own cows, I do my own thing, and I think, and that means a lot to me as well. I don't have it going down the road with me. I'm not under somebody's wing. I handle most of it myself, and with a lot of help. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's a team effort, and I have so much support and so many people helping me along the way. But when it comes down to it, yeah, it was kind of a, by myself kind of situation, But there's so many people that I could mention and thank, and if I tried to, I'd miss somebody, so I'm not going to. But yeah, there's so many people that helped me along the way, and I'm so thankful for them.
When you say it's the hardest thing you've ever done, what stands out in your mind when you say that?
Oh man, I think channeling the thoughts, keeping yourself at an even level and not getting too high or too low, like just to stay consistent. Consistency is definitely key for all of this. And there were lots of high times. I was very fortunate that for the most of the year we were on a good roll most of the year, but there were definitely some times when we were on a bad roll, and to stay even and to not get too emotional about it is really hard to do. And the first year I did this, and really any year up until now, I just at the beginning of the year I tried to train myself to just go show, like it is what it is and it is what it isn't, and it's just hard to stay mentally game. And I think I did that this year, and I'm really proud of myself for doing that. And that was hard. It's very challenging to stay focused and stay even and to just go do your job.
Yeah, well, it might, as you say, it might only go 2.5 minutes, but you have to do that repetitively in different places throughout an entire year. So staying focused is not the easiest thing when you've got life happening as well. Ultimately, what would you say this championship means to you?
Oh, man. That's a hard question. It means so much. I mean, obviously, I can't. It's something I've wanted for a long time, and I've looked up to all these people that have hauled for so long, and the respect I have for the people that do this. Especially you can't understand or appreciate what it takes until you do it, and that's something that I think everybody in this industry should have a goal, whether it be to haul for a world championship or to go show your 3-year-old well, whatever it is. Those goals, you set them and you work hard, and sometimes you achieve them, sometimes you don't. But just because you're second doesn't mean that you didn't do a good job. I mean, I've come up short in this industry a lot. Being reserve world champion, it was hard to be reserve, but at the same time, it doesn't take away from the accomplishment. And same thing with Horse of the Year. I was reserve Horse of the Year, and it seems like I've always been second. And exactly, I'm there and I'm competitive, but I've always been second. And this year, I was so happy to be first.
Okay. And finally, what did you learn about yourself hauling this year and winning this title?
How strong I am. I'm stronger than I thought I was. I think I'm really and aggressive. I didn't know I had so much grit to me. I think, and I'm glad. I think that I've learned a lot about myself, and I'm excited to see where I go from here, because I think that I'm kind of a new mentality, new focus on life, and I'm excited to see where I can take it from here. I'm excited to go show my age sprint horses now, ready to get back to the big pens.
Okay, well, congratulations and good luck with all that.
Thank you so much.